Hey, so looks like I'm getting this day started, just waiting for somebody to show up, and then we'll get this brew day going. I got my hot liquor tank ready to go, the mash water ready to go. I got everything tested, just waiting to mash in with all the grain. And like I said, get this day going. It's going to be a New England IPA, all Citra. Should be a great beer. Looking to finish somewhere around 6.8%. Very excited. Can't wait to get this day going. It'll be the first beer of the year. So here we got the brew stand. Kettle all the way to the right is your brew kettle, then your mash tun and your hot liquor tank. As we get into the mashing, we're dumping about 50 pounds of grain into this. Each one of these pots holds 25 gallons of water, and we mix everything just to make sure that there's no...
is vital, because what it does is it keeps the grain separated so that the conversion with the hot water allows it to pull all the sugars out of all the grain. And we use a paddle that's got holes in it so that it can kind of slosh around in there and break up all of the grain to make that mash convert as much sugar out of the grain as possible. The mash for this takes about 60 minutes, and it's just resting kind of like... steeping. And then once you get done, now you rinse all those grains with a hotter water to be able to stop the conversion, and then you start rinsing the grains to get all the sugars out of it. After this step, you go into the boil, where you'll see us adding hops to the beer at that point. And then we added hops again at the very end, where we dropped the temperature at about 195 degrees, and we added them. We added about 6 ounces of hops at that point in a whirlpool, so you can see the water circulating and the wort circulating here.
What you see here is the spent over grain, the leftover grain from the mash. And then I got everything all set up into the fermentation tank and have the glycol chiller set at 68 degrees to optimize fermentation. So I want to just apologize as I'm going through this process and showing you guys how the brew went. I just want to apologize that it's all segmented, but I think part of the process that you have to understand is that it's not it doesn't happen all in one stretch. It happens over a pattern of days. So as I'm going through this process, I'm taking these, short videos and piecing it together so you guys can see the entire process all at once. So what I want to do is I wanted to jump out and I wanted to show you just how crazy the fermentation was with this beer. So we started off with this, which is what I had showed, earlier on. And it was so aggressive that I felt the need to have to do this, where you could see that it's bubbling pretty effectively. And that's always a good sign that, one, yeast is healthy, yeast is happy, and your conversion rate from your mash was solid. So you got all the starches, all the sugars, everything that you needed to pull from your grain was removed, and you gave plenty of nutrients in there to make some happy yeast. So the very next step will be, once we get through this fermentation process, which could take anywhere between 3 and 7 days, depending on the yeast strain that you use, then we're going to hit this with a dry hop, which will be another 6 ounces of Citra, and that'll be the next segment for you guys. So again, I just wanted to show you how crazy the fermentation was going, and everything seems to be moving forward. With this beer, I do have a it's a digital hydrometer that I have in there, and it works on Bluetooth, and it's a tilt hydrometer, and what it does is it measures the gravity or the density of the beer, and then it also gives me some fermentation temperatures so that I know that I'm well within range of what makes this yeast happy. But it's a great tool if you're looking to upgrade what you do, in small little pieces. You got to grab a tilt hydrometer and throw that in your fermentation tanks, because it'll eliminate having to expose your beer to oxygen, because oxygen's not your friend when it comes to fermentation.